Good afternoon. My name is Miksic, and I am the Early Childhood Education Policy Director at Children First. Before we begin, I'd like to say thank you to Wonderspring Early Education for hosting us today. And thank you to everybody else for coming to see our press conference. We are here today to launch our 30 closed classrooms in 30 days campaign. Over the next 30 days, we will feature one empty classroom per day from early childhood programs across the Southeast, and some from across the state as well. These classrooms are empty because there is not adequate staffing. The historic COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with the low wages of the early child education sector, has now led to a staffing crisis that has reverberations across the Commonwealth. Early child education programs simply cannot compete with Starbucks and Walmart, with their $18 an hour starting wages and the comprehensive health and retirement benefits. In Pennsylvania, the average child care worker makes only $10.69, and preschool teachers make only a little bit more than $13 an hour. A Start Strong PA survey of over 1,000 programs across the state found that 32,000 children sit on wait lists due to staffing shortages. In Montgomery County, 96% of programs responding to that survey reported having over 500 open positions and 1,600 kids sitting on wait lists. Parents can't get to work, our economy suffers, but most importantly, young children are losing opportunities to learn during their most critical years of development. It's not an exaggeration to say that this is a crisis. Early child education providers want to pay their staff more, but the labor-intensive work and the razor-thin margins makes it impossible to raise wages. For private pay parents, providers cannot raise the tuition prices anymore. Those parents are already paying college tuition prices for their child care. For parents supported by child care subsidies, payments from the state are not adequate to cover the true cost of care, meaning centers have to choose between paying their mortgages and paying their staff living wages. The result has been turnovers and difficulties recruiting staff. The solution is simple. Pay the teachers what they deserve. Equitable wages means we are paying staff adequately to compensate them for their time and expertise. Equitable wages is important not just for recruitment and retention, but for offering high-quality early child education. Our statewide campaign, Start Strong PA, is asking Governor Wolf and the General Assembly for a wage supplement of $2 an hour so that we can begin to address this crisis. We hope you will follow us on social media as we show our 30 empty classrooms in 30 days. On Twitter, we're at Children First PA, and on Facebook. And right now, I'd like to pass it off to Zakiyyah Boone, the CEO of Wonderspring Early Education.
Thank you. It gives me great pleasure to stand here and share just how amazing the opportunity to serve young children in the early childhood education environment really is. According to a national survey, more than 10,000 child care teachers left the industry since June. More than a third of child care providers are considering quitting or closing down their businesses within the next year. Children are suffering. Children are going without access to the education they deserve. There has been an 18% drop nationwide in the number of children enrolled in preschool programs. Low-income children have fallen to an all-time low. Only 31% nationwide are enrolled in preschool programs. Our children deserve better. We must do better. Research shows very clear evidence that early childhood education leads to greater outcomes in life. Children who start right, end right. They grow up to be productive members of society who give back 100-fold. Wonderspring, a nonprofit provider of early childhood education, high quality is what we strive for in everything that we do. In Philadelphia and Montgomery counties, has not been able to escape the loss of teachers. Since the start of the pandemic, 97 of our staff members have left. That means this classroom in which I stand today has left children on our wait list unserved. We have had to close 9 classrooms because we just are unable to staff them. We are actively recruiting for over 30 positions in the organization. However, we can't compete on wages. We can compete on how amazing and rewarding it is to serve young children, to watch them thrive, to help them reach developmental milestones. And Wonderspring, just like so many other providers across the region, we are committed to doing everything we can to ensure those children, every one of them who are counting on us, they get what they need. Thank you.
Thank you, Zakiyyah. Next, I'd like to bring up Natalie Renn, who is the Center Director for Wonderspring here in NAR Birth.
Thank you. My name is Natalie Renn, and I'm the Center Director of our NAR Birth location. We've been in operation for 22 years. Prior to the pandemic, we were serving 185 children and employed 48 educators. Since then, we are currently have 70 spaces available that we could be serving for children and their families. We could also employ 20 more educators at our center to help the children learn and grow. It's extremely important that we have credentialed educators, because then they have the skills to be able to implement curriculum, activities that engage the children, spark their curiosity, foster individualization. So, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. And next, I'd like to bring up Victoria Blisard, a parent of a child here at Wonderspring.
Hello, my name is Victoria Blisard. I'm actually a parent here of 3 children who all go here at the NAR Birth child care location, and I'll say that every day they wake up really excited to come to school, and they oftentimes don't want to leave. They're wonderful teachers and friends, and we are so happy to be a part of this community. I believe, and I think all the families here believe, that high early education is vitally important to our families and our community. And as a community, we want our children to feel safe. We want them to be guided through their education. And for those of us that need full-time childcare outside of our home, we are depending on our schools and we are depending on our teachers every single day. And that is really where you come in as our state's government to adequately provide funding for our teachers. We want to be making moves that are in the best interest of our children, of our teachers, of our community, of our families. Please step up and provide that supplemental financial resource for our teachers, so our child care centers can stay open, so our teachers can get paid for the skills that they have, so we're able to go to work, so our children are able to get a quality education and continue in the world and continue in our communities. The teachers that work here are truly the boots on the ground, and they deserve those financial resources, and we all deserve to have a safe space to have our children be in. Thank you.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us today, and just to hammer home the message, what we're asking the governor and the General Assembly to do is support the $2 an hour wage supplement for our early education providers. Thank you for joining us.